How's it going, everybody? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And today, I am not alone. I've got two of my buddies with me, and maybe a fourth one coming in a little bit later. But to my right is that right? Not this right. That right is none other than the Norwegian assassin, the man that was the price manager at Wizard Magazine, among other things.
Yes.
It has been featured in a Lobo comic, not a Marvel comic, but a distinguished competition comic.
Yes.
How's it going, Lars? What are you doing?
Good. Lars Pearson, publisher and editor-in-chief of Mad Norwegian Press, formerly of Wizard Magazine, and I'm opening this show with some cause of concern because, Omar, I see you're wearing this T-shirt that has guts labeled on there. Now, I'm assuming this is some kind of label. So, like, if your guts are that high in your chest,
they are.
I'm of concern. Are you a shapeshifter and you've rearranged your internal organs for defensive purposes? Because, you know, there is an issue of Legion of Superheroes where Chameleon Boy is shot in the head, but he'd rearranged his organ.
This is a Marvel stream. Why are you talking about Legion of Superheroes?
I apologize. That is my mistake, yes.
One question at a time. No, I'm not a shapeshifter. If I was, I would turn into...
Well, you'd say that, wouldn't you? Yeah.
To use that power. And two, this is Guts from Berserk, but it's a homage cover to Hulk 340 with Wolverine's claws and Hulk's reflection, the McFarlane cover, but it's Guts sword with Nosferatu's sword on the reflection. Right. So,
because the original cover said Knuckles. Yeah, okay, got it.
Guts. Anyway, below him is Sean from the Comic Pals. How's it going, dude?
It's going fantastically. Thank you for having me. I am very happy to be back on Near Mint Condition, representing the Comics Pals, and here to talk about Marvel Comics November Solicits. There's a lot of really good stuff here, and I'm excited to dive into it with you two gentlemen. Now, if I may, I actually have a question. It's a lore-related question.
For me or Lars?
It's for Lars.
Oh, God.
Of course it is.
And if this is well-known lore and I am killing the flow, I apologize, but what is the origin of the Norwegian assassin title?
Wow. Just like that, Sean is asking more about you than I ever have. And I've known you for years.
Yeah, I understand. It's a bit ribbled. Sorry, you caught me off guard. I'll have to share it with you when we're off the stream because I can't think of a PG rated version of that.
Oh my God! Of course, there's not a PG rated version of any of your stories.
Okay, on this particular occasion, it's not my fault. Okay, it's really not my fault. So yes, we'll talk when we're off the stream.
Now I'm curious. Okay. Okay. So the origin.
I'm sorry, my friend. I said, damn it, I can't think of how to sanitize this one. Okay. Yeah.
Nope, don't worry about it. Don't scrutinize yourself either. Make sure you have an alibi. Okay, so today we are going to be looking at the collected editions in the November solicitations for Marvel Comics. We're going to be looking at the content, and we're going to be looking at the pricing and the covers. So big thank you to David Gabriel and the folks at Marvel for sending us advance notice of this stuff. So this stuff will be available. I think it's usually the third week of the month. Sometimes it's the fourth week because last month was San Diego Comic-Con and that literally drained everybody. So that might be maybe next week when this shows up everywhere. And we try to do this every the last Thursday of the month, but I think it's having to move to like the first Thursday of the month. So I'll see when I can start getting these sooner. But let's go ahead and take a look at what the solicits have for the month of November. Like most of the stuff in here I've already announced, but some of the stuff we haven't talked about. So let's go ahead and do that.
All right.
And let's see, is that big enough? Yes. Okay. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The Omnibus right here. This is the one that has stuff from Mark Waid and Mark Guggenheim, collecting Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 1 through 8 and 10 through 12. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 1 through 10. And then the Agent Carter S.H.I.E.L.D. I think when I announced this, it didn't have the Agent Carter stuff or the 50th anniversary one shots. So it has Agent Carter, the Cavalry, and Fury, Mockingbird, Quake, and then Fury 1 from 2023, which I think was suggested by somebody adding that book in there, and the material from S.H.I.E.L.D 9 and all new, all different .1. So this book has 672 pages, retailing for $100.
Okay.
It was Mark Waid that kicked this off, and then it was Mark Guggenheim that ended up finishing out the second part of the run. So by the time we got into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But the S.H.I.E.L.D 2014 series, I think that was, do you all remember when the show was like at its peak when it
Oh,
came?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it had to do with like tying it into that show, right? And then of course some of these characters have appeared in other comics, like Quake was in Secret Warriors, and then actually made her first appearance in Bendis's Secret War. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if any of you have read this stuff. It's been available in a couple of trade paperbacks, but not those 50th anniversary one shots, nor the Nick Fury or the Fury #1. I don't know if you all have read these or not.
I have read the S.H.I.E.L.D 2014.
Okay.
I remember enjoying that quite a bit. Yeah. Yep. I remember enjoying that. And then the Fury one shot I also read and enjoyed. So I feel like this is some good stuff. If you are a fan of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D show, you're going to get a lot of that, like Omar was saying, a lot of that crossover. I like S.H.I.E.L.D a lot. I miss S.H.I.E.L.D the way it used to be. And so this is the kind of thing you can buy and go, wow, remember when things were good for S.H.I.E.L.D?
Yeah.
Now, S.H.I.E.L.D 9 is not collected here. Oh, no, material from S.H.I.E.L.D 9. There it is. Okay. I was wondering what that was, because I think that's part of the 50th anniversary. That was the big 50th anniversary issue.
Yeah.
So I wonder what parts are collected.
And
then, of course, material from all new .1.
I saw a good amount of the TV show. I didn't see all of it because I feel like the TV show it was coming out when we were starting to turn the corner on when like committing to a network show with like, because it was like 22 episodes a year, wasn't it? Committing to it, some shows of that length felt like more and more of a labor, with more and more shows coming out that are 8, 10, 12 episodes. I feel like the only way I finished out Supernatural was I drilled out the Monster of the Week episodes and I was just watching the mythology episodes. So I've seen a good amount of the TV show, but it just became too much to keep up with.
I was in the same space with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D show. I actually thought it was quite good.
Yeah.
When it started, but as the tail grew longer, just got a little bit to be too much for me. But Quake was on the show, and I really enjoy it. Quake is one of my favorite Marvel characters, and I thought she was done well. Who played her again? I don't know. I don't recall.
Oh, the actress?
Yeah.
No. I watched I think a season of S.H.I.E.L.D, and that was it for me. I know it had a huge fan following.
The internet says it was Chloe Bennett.
Yes. Love Chloe Bennett.
Okay. And it was Robbie Reyes, right? As a Ghost Rider, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Gotcha. All right. And then one of my favorite announcements, the Black Widow and Captain America by Mark Waid and Chris Samnee Omnibus. So collecting Black Widow 1 through 12, that is entirely Mark Waid and Chris Samnee. And then Captain America 695 to 704, which again is the big gap filler for Captain America collectors in Omni format. This fits in between the Nick Spencer Omnibus Volume 2 and the Ta-Nehisi Coates Omnibus Volume 1. So it's that missing stuff. 536 pages, $100. It was suggested, and I did email Marvel adding the Man Out of Time series in here. So we shall see if they decide to do that or not. Because it's already a pretty slim Omni, but it's one that I'm glad they're doing, because I don't know how else you could collect Captain America 695 to 704. And it wasn't also Chris Samnee didn't do all of those either. I think maybe Carlos Pacheco might have done an issue or more.
That sounds right to me.
And then Leonardo Romero. Yeah. But this would have been the third time that Mark Waid wrote Captain America. So the first time is the classic what was it called? Man Without Country storyline with Waid and Ron Garney. And then of course we had the Heroes Reborn universe, and then he came back with Ron Garney to write Captain America, and then he came back for this. So it's really cool. I'm curious if I don't know if they'll do this. I can't imagine. But if the Black Widow cover, which by the way is the standard cover, the direct market is the Captain America. If the Black Widow spine will say Black Widow and Captain America, and then the Captain America direct market cover will say Captain America and Black Widow, like to put it on your shelf like that. I don't know.
That would be cool. Now, let me ask you, Omar, how do you feel about them bundling these two stories together? I think obviously from a creative team standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. The content is quite different. How do you feel about these two stories being paired together in this way?
Well, I know going into it, they're two completely different stories, right? And one has absolutely nothing to do with the other outside of the creative team.
Right.
I like stories like this, or I like collections like this, right? It means that they are thinking, okay, we can't leave every issue orphaned. We got to figure out a way to put these issues somewhere, even though it's only like 10 issues. It's not big enough for an Omni, although that hasn't stopped them before. But maybe we could put it with something else and make it like a creator-centric omnibus. I think if this does well, I hope they do that later on with maybe like something like a Kelly Thompson omnibus that will have her run on Gambit and Rogue, and also her magnificent Black Widow series. That would be really cool. But I don't mind stuff like this. As long as I'm getting them and no issue left behind, I appreciate that there was thought into, hey, we haven't collected this. Let's put it somewhere else.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't actually read this, but I am actually kind of interested because they're right to tout it as a team who did Daredevil, because that Daredevil run was outstanding. So if you go the same team doing two different stories, Black Widow and Captain America, I'm like, yeah, that sounds kind of awesome. And Black Widow and Captain America are sort of in the same, I mean, a bit in the same vein. It's not like it's Captain America and Frogman or something like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Although, frankly, if Waid and Samnee were doing Frogman, I'd probably read Frogman.
I think we all would. For what it's worth, the Black Widow story in here is really, really good. I loved it.
I agree.
Awesome.
It was my favorite Black Widow story up until Kelly Thompson's like Black Widow story. Okay. But this is killer. This is really good. And this is the same team that's working on is it Justice League Year One? No, Batman and Robin Year One.
Yeah.
So, two creators that have worked together a lot.
Yeah.
The What If, wrapping up the 90s series. This is What If Into the Multiverse, Omnibus Volume 3. And
look at that creator list.
Yeah.
But if you look at the creator list, it just goes to show you how much like 90s had a lot of these early work from some of these people.
Yeah.
So this is collecting What If 76 through 83, 85 to 114, and then the -1 issue. The book has 1,112 pages and retails for $125. Now, a lot of these folks here that those names definitely speak 90s. And then some I'm like, I had no idea. Like there's a Brian K. Vaughan issue in here.
Yeah. Whoa.
Like, because the beauty of What If is that they're all one issue standalone. Like that's it. You don't need to read anything before this or after this. The covers, this is the Doug Braithwaite cover, and then the Mike Wieringo Phoenix cover. What If Storm was the Phoenix. And then eventually what they did with this line is they stopped calling it like What If with a title, and then it became What If starring Thor, What If starring Jubilee, What If starring Generation X. They didn't really reveal the title on the cover anymore towards the last act of this,
which is kind of a shame because some of those titles would really draw you in.
What's in issue 84? Well, the issue is Shard, but it is the creator that is probably keeping it from being added on here.
Yes.
So
Google who wrote it.
There's some really good stuff in here. The best thing is each issue is standalone. There's a couple of two-parters. I forgot, like a young Jim Lee-ish Ed Benes is here. Yeah. And then some classic DeFalco and Ron Friends that, evolved into something else.
Well, and this stuff hasn't been collected before, has it?
Absolutely, positively, no.
No.
But this does have the first appearance of Spider-Girl. I'm trying to think of what else, like,
Do you know what Warren Ellis did in here?
What issue? I think it was an X-Men related issue.
Mm.
I can't remember. This was I never finished the run. Like
Okay.
I left comics when it was becoming that What If starring. That's when I took a break from comics. So I am really excited about this.
Yeah.
Dawn of X.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Volume 2.
Ooh.
So this is collecting New Mutants 8 through 12, Marauders 9 through 12, X-Men, Fantastic Four 1 through 4, Cable 1 through 4, X-Men 8 through 11, X-Force 9 through 12, Excalibur 9 through 12, the Giant-Sized Nightcrawler, Hellions 1 through 4, Wolverine 4 through 5, X-Factor 1 through 3, Giant-Size X-Men Magneto, Empire X-Men 1 through 4, Giant-Size X-Men Phantom X, the Giant-Size X-Men Storm, and then material from Wolverine 1, which the material from Wolverine 1 is also collected in the first volume, but it's the A story because there were two different stories. It was like a story about vampires, and then there was the main story that was going on in Wolverine. I did ask about Juggernaut, and I really think that will be in volume 3, but I went ahead and asked, and we'll see what they say. But I will say the addition of the X-Men Fantastic Four and Empire X-Men make me think that they do not want to leave any issue behind.
Mm-hmm.
Nor should they.
No.
S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't missing issue 9. It's the 50th anniversary stuff. That's why it's there. So, Omar, do you know if they will collect X of Swords in volume 3? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to, because this leads into X of Swords. I don't know if they're going to map around X of Swords and maybe reprint the oversized hardcover, or if they're going to include the event. Because remember, they're not including House and Powers of X because they consider that an event. This is the Dawn of X stuff. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I will definitely ask. So it looks like Tom Mueller is designing the Omnis as well.
Yep.
So perhaps this will have some kind of frame around it with Magneto. So now it makes sense when I announced the cover that's why they're doing it. Because if you have a big group picture, it's not going to make that much sense. A lot of the cover is covered up by the frame. But Tom Mueller's the gentleman that designed all of the trades, all of the oversized hardcovers, and they definitely, and actually the anthology series too, which looks like that. And they definitely stand out on your shelf. Like, I love the designs of those books. I know I've commented before, and I know some people don't like it, but I think it's really cool to look at my X-Men shelf and immediately pinpoint where Krakoa is
100%.
Based on the color schemes and based on the designs of those books.
And that Kitty Pryde cover is just
that's a Crushing Crisis cover right there.
Awesome. My God.
That's Peter.
I really love the Magneto one, the direct market.
Yeah, that's good too. Yeah.
The material in this is, for me, I guess, a mixed bag. There is some really good stuff in here. Omar, if you could scroll down just so we can see the.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. So the Marauders, I really love the Marauders of this era. I thought that was a great book. Jerry Duggan on that. X-Men was quite good as well. Excalibur, all of those books were great. Even Hellions was fun. This is actually
Hellions is the best.
Really good. Yes, all of that.
I don't care what people say about Zeb Boyle's run on Spider-Man.
No.
Hellions was amazing. I love that book.
Yeah.
Love that book. That was like Suicide Squad and like everything I wanted with the X titles. All these characters nobody cared about. Zeb Boyles is like, give them to me. They're pretty broken. I'll do something with them. And he kind of reminded me of what like a lot of Peter David did during his run on X Factor. And I know that's high praise, but I really mean that. That's why I enjoyed that. And it took me by surprise just how much I really enjoyed it. Because at the time, I don't think I wasn't the biggest fan of Wells. Like, I know, he came from the world of Robot Chicken, but it was, what was it? It was like, he wrote that New Warrior series, and then he did the New Mutants, which I know Peter and I have a different opinion. He loves it, and I thought it was just hit and miss. But Hellions was amazing. Loved it. Yes, Nanny and Orphan Maker, dude.
Yeah.
Nanny and Orphan Maker.
I had a soft spot for the X Factor run here. I thought that was quite good. That was
Leah Williams stuff.
I assume this was Leah Williams' run, which was
Yes.
which was canceled brutally early, which was a shame because I was quite enjoying it. Yeah, I mean, in all these Krakoa volumes, there's always going to be a little bit of chaff, but you're buying them because they are all encompassing. So,
well, I mean, you could say the same, right, for every Marvel X-Men omnibus that it has. Issues of X Factor, issues of New Mutants, right?
Yeah,
like the big event books. Not like when you're looking at Uncanny by Chris Claremont, you know what you're getting. But whenever you're looking at later on when it's a crossover,
certainly
it's very hit and miss as to what sticks and what doesn't.
Yeah, so I faithfully got the oversized DOHCs of these, and I might just stick with those. Although this project is so awesome that I kind of want it anyway, but
well, what you're missing, if you got the oversized hardcovers, so for example, like New Mutants was never collected in oversized hardcovers.
That is one of the odd exceptions that was not.
And
but
let's see what else wasn't.
No,
X Factor, X Factor wasn't, and neither were the miniseries X-Men Fantastic Four. As a matter of fact, X-Men Fantastic Four wasn't even in the original Dawn of X anthology series.
But since I have the OHCs, I bought a few of the soft covers, and I'm more then the Ewing omnibus is coming out and the Duggan omnibus is coming out, and then I'm pretty much done.
And then Empire X-Men wasn't. Empire X-Men was in the Empire Omni.
It's so cool. I want it anyway. So
we'll find out this coming month how they're mapping the first one. It really comes down to like how the mapping works, how putting all these stories together.
I mean, you're right, but I think if you're committed to these omnibuses, you're just going to buy all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, and the map, they're probably mapped pretty well. And even if they're mapped a little sloppy, I suspect the people buying these are all in.
I'm curious how they're going to map the first.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Like if it's going to be issue by issue, because that would drive me crazy. I kind of want them by story arc, but I don't work for Marvel. They're free to map however they want to. I'm just curious how it's going to be mapped. Sean, when you read the series, were you currently reading comics? Like, were you picking up the series as it was coming out?
Oh, yeah. I read pretty much every single one of these as they were releasing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me too.
Empire X-Men were in the Dawn of X. Yes, that is correct. But they've never been released in oversized format outside of the Empire X-Men, Empire Omnibus.
Yeah, I had given up on X-Men prior to Krakoa, and then Krakoa drew me back in, and like you, now Wednesday became unmissable for a few years there. It's good stuff.
They struck gold.
They really did. We were fortunate to have it.
Yeah, they sold like crazy, and it's crazy. Like here's the. I'll stop talking. It's X-Men, and Peter isn't here, but I still have to talk about X-Men. The crazy part about this is, I remember when I was a kid, and to me, the X-Men were in Australia in the outback for like a decade. But if you look back at that era, it was about 5 years or less that they were in the outback. Wow. It was from Fall to Mutants all the way. I mean, if you look at it, it was like right after Inferno when the team kind of broke up and went through.
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
Like, that's not that long. But when you're a kid and you're reading them every month, it felt like forever. Just like some kids grew up reading this going, man, this lasted years. But in reality, it was like 5 years. Crazy.
Well, building on what you're saying, I mean, back then, if there was a status quo change, like, you felt like the story of X-Men or the story of Avengers or the story of whatever was being written, which means if there was an upset to the status quo, there was this sinking feeling of like, oh God, this is the way things are now for X number of years. Whereas now I think we expect it to swing round to the status quo every so often. But no, I'm with you. Like after Mutant Massacre, I was like, oh, Jesus.
Right. It was like forever, right?
This is how it's going to be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. Isn't issue by issue exactly what people have been asking for? I don't think people even know what they're asking for. I will be 100. I mean, and I'm just the guy that reads all the comments, that gets all the emails. Everybody wants something different, and as you have to make executive decisions when it comes to mapping. I think issue by issue. I don't think that's the best way to.
I would find that quite frustrating myself.
Well, I think if you're going to do that, you might as well go back to monthlies, like single issues, right? Like, what's the point of a collected edition if you're not? Anyway, I could go on.
Well, God forbid you read New Mutants 8 and then you want to follow it up with New Mutants 9.
Well, if it's a story arc, right? Why would you want to break that from happening?
Well, doubly that. Yes, absolutely. So
that's why I'm not a fan of like things like Flashpoint. Oh, that mapping irritated me because that was what they did. It was like issue by issue.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the Avengers Volume 6. Long time coming. And I did ask about adding that Iron Man issue that somebody was asking about. I think it was Kirk. This is collecting Avengers 150 to 188, annuals 6 through 9. Supervillain Team Up number 9, Marvel 2-in-1, annual number 2, Marvel Premiered 35 through 37 and 49. What If 3 and 9, and material for Marvel Tales 100 and Marvel Treasury Edition number 13. 1,176 pages, $125. You're getting some legendary creators in here, and you're getting one of the greatest Avengers story ever with the Korvac saga, the introduction of the Guardians of the Galaxy into the Marvel 616 current timeline. But anyway, creators like George Perez and Jim Shooter, David Michelinie starting his run, and I think there's some early the Falco here. Oh, Steve Englehart, of course. Yeah, very excited for this.
Yeah, just checking something real quick. Yeah, this is where I ring in with Avengers. I am far from an Avengers completist, but you know, the George Perez material and the Jim Shooter material is just too great. Weirdly, back in the day, of course, when you didn't have access to comics, I had to go from garage sale to garage sale, and there was a garage sale, and like I found a box of comics, and in there was a copy of Avengers 177, which is the last issue of the Korvac saga, which is tremendously powerful, but they all get slaughtered. And you know, it's not exactly your typical issue, but that was kind of one of my entry points to Avengers. Because the Korvac saga is legit pretty great.
Yeah, Korvac saga is the kid, you know, like this is the beauty of collected editions that like when it's weird because when I talk to my daughters, like you kids will never know what it feels like to go and yell at your sister, hurry up, it's coming back on when you were watching a cartoon. Like you don't know that feeling because you grew up watching streaming services, right?
Yeah.
And just like kids these days, I say kids, people in their like late teens, early 20s have no idea what it was like to hear about a story in a comic and having to like try to find those issues because you heard how legendary it was. You would hear about the Korvac saga, and I was a broke kid, right? I'm like, oh, what's the Korvac saga? And then I found like a trade paperback I think in the early 90s they released a really small trade paperback.
Well,
but it's just amazing that now you have access to all this stuff in different formats at that. Not just super expensive formats like this, but also like you've got trade paperbacks of that. You have the Marvel Premiere version of that, and then you've got the Epic. That's just crazy.
Yeah. But you really feel like these creators are really kicking it up a notch. So then I got some reprints of the 60s Avengers. You get those little digest books where they reprint the stuff panel by panel. And it just seems so primitive compared to this. Especially that George Perez art. God.
Oh, Perez, man.
Yeah. Absolutely incredible. Yeah.
You read any of the classic stuff, Sean? Like, what's the earliest Avengers like you've read, brother?
The earliest Avengers I have read is literally right before Avengers Disassembled. So I've never read any Avengers prior to.
Wait, the Chuck Austin run?
The
Jeff Johns or Kurt Busiek.
Jeff Johns. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's it. That's the earliest Avengers I've ever read.
We need to get you on more old reader, new readers, and read some of these classic stuff, man.
Bring me on, man.
I mean, honestly, man, dude, I'll be honest. Like some of it still hits.
I bet.
I 100%, and some of it nostalgia glasses, and I'm okay with that. Star Wars Legend wrapping up the Empire with Omnibus Volume 4, and this is collecting the Yavin Vasilika 1 through 5. I love these Star Wars names because then there's always somebody that's correcting me these fake names. The Free Comic Book Day 2013, Star Wars Empire 5 through 6, 8 through 13, and 15. The X-Wing Rogue Squadron, the half issue, A New Hope, the special edition 1 through 4. Star Wars Tag and Bink Are Dead number 1. Star Wars Infinities, A New Hope, and Curtis, just in time, my friend.
Oh, welcome.
Hey,
welcome, my friend.
How are you?
Well, hello there, everybody. Have I missed the epics?
Not yet. How do you
we
pronounce
haven't.
the Yavin Vasilika? How do you pronounce that, Curtis?
I don't know. Never met that guy before.
Curtis, we said your name 3 times.
There you assume Yavin's gender. I think it's a chick. Anyway, the Infinities 1 through 4, Star Wars 0 through 8, and material from Tales 1, 2, 4, 6, 8 through 10, 12, 14, 16, 19, and 20. 1,048 pages and $125. And thank you, Richard. That is strike one for Curtis already. He just got here, and that is strike one.
No.
How are you, dude? How was your vacation, brother?
We had a good time away. Yeah, it was just nice and relaxing, and got some reading done, and spent some time outside.
Did you go with your children or sensibly leave them at home?
Oh no, I went with the children.
Oh.
It was a good family vacation.
Okay.
Yeah. And it feels like it's been a long time since I've been on one of these streams. I think I've missed the last few of them, so I'm happy to be here.
I'm glad you're here, man, and just in time for the Omnis, your favorite collected editions format. Let's talk about this. This is the Death of Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
Spoiler, but I can't say anything in the title. This is a standard size hardcover. If you're looking at the dimensions here, this is not a deluxe edition. So if you look at those dimensions, compare it to the dimensions of an Omni, for example, the trim size. This is the size of a trade paperback, but I didn't think they were going to do this. But I think in the last solicitation, they also had the Charles Soule Daredevil book. This is by Greg Pak and Sumit Kumar, and it is collecting the Death of the Silver Surfer 1 through 5. I know absolutely nothing about this, so I'm really...
The contents are a complete mystery. Yes, absolutely.
Sean, have you read any of this?
So this is actually ongoing right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I am skipping it because I feel like there's a Death of Silver Surfer comic like every 3 years, and I'm cool on that. But this is a great creative team. Greg Pak has done so many awesome Marvel comics, and Sumit Kumar is great too. So I've heard decent things about this.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Pak. I like his stuff. I'm just curious, is this kind of like one of those Marvel The End series? Like this is the definitive ending to the Surfer, which we've seen before, but interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I skipped it, because we've seen it before, but it is that.
Okay. They have that. There's no way they have that many, Ron. They could do a Death of Silver Surfer. Marvel's copying DC with the standard size hardcover soon after the run finished. And keep in mind, Marvel and DC were both doing those back in the day. Like New Avengers had those standard size hardcovers. Mighty Avengers were standard size. Then we got deluxes, and that was it. I didn't think they were going to bring them back, honestly.
No, I think I'm right in saying it also makes it more economic because you print X number of guts, and then those guts just go either hardcover or soft cover, whichever you want, but you can still economize the interior.
But that is a good point. Curtis, is there any truth to what Lars just said? Can you fact check him?
He wants you to call me out my BS.
No, I did not say that.
Well, I mean, yes and no. If that book is standard size, then yes, it can be easily adapted to paperback. But they'd have to make it economically viable, they would have to print all of the guts for the paperback at the same time as the hardcover, and they're not soliciting it in soft cover as well, only hardcover.
No. DC is doing that though. DC is doing.
You're actually right.
Again, they've done that in the past, like during Tom King's run.
Yeah.
They have done trade paperback and hardcover same day, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
But
yeah, well, in that case, absolutely, yeah, way cheaper to do it. Just print them all at once like that.
When we went through the DC catalog, which I sadly you were not around for, they're doing more hardcover and softcover same day release.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood. This has been released in Treasury Edition first, and now it's coming out in trade paperback, collecting the 4-issue anthology series with J.M. DeMatteis, J. Michael Straczynski, Dustin Nguyen, Alyssa Wong, and David Michelinie, Dan Jurgens, G. Will Wilson, Hayden Sherman, just to name a few of the creators here. A lot of talent in those anthology series. Al Ewing. All new Venom. Who is all new Venom? Thanks, Internet, for spoiling that for me, by the way. I read these in trade, and it pissed me off.
Is it Aunt May? Is it really Aunt May?
Close. I don't want to spoil it on the chat in case people haven't read it, but if you know, if you're living under a rock, I guess that's the only way you've stayed away from who all new Venom is.
It's Miss Lion. We all know it's Miss Lion.
Like I don't even go to like Facebook groups, but maybe like once a week, and it's usually like the collected editions group. I don't even go to comic book groups, and somebody had like spoiled it. Oh, it was in a Transformers group I'm in. And I'm like, what the heck, man? Anyway, all new Venom, collecting the first 10 issues, 232 pages, $29.99 by Al Ewing, continuing his run on Venom, and Carlos Gomez on artwork with the cover by Adam Kubert. So I know Sean knows. Curtis, you're going to wait for the epic of this in about 10 years' time. So that secret will be kept safe, my friend. And I don't
probably, even if I know it, I'll probably forget it in 10 years.
You're going to be the new, Jess. He forgets everything he reads. All right. Now we're going to the series of trade paperbacks with X-Men. So Exceptional X-Men by Eve Ewing, Volume 2, The Deep End. Mr. Sinister showing up. This is collecting issues 6 through 13, 176 pages, $24.99. Wait a minute. Who is Sheldon Sinos? Bet Sean knows.
Indeed, who is Sheldon?
Who is that?
Know. It is.
I knew you would know, you freaking single issue reader, you.
Yeah. It's worth saying that Exceptional X-Men was my favorite X-Men book. I have since dropped all X titles. I read no X titles anymore. But
so you don't even know who Sheldon Sinos is?
No. I read every issue in this. I decided to drop the X line after the Hellfire Vigil issue that dropped about a month ago.
Why 4, if we may ask?
Because
don't spoil it. Is it because with Sheldon Xenos?
No. Broadly speaking, I felt that the Hellfire Vigil issue did not advance the X-Men beyond Krakoa, beyond into something that feels like a material way forward. Gotcha. And so I was frustrated to the point where I dropped everything. But these are great.
Are you expecting for your X-Men to advance?
Yeah.
What?
They're spinning their wheels.
This is X-Men, dude. We're gonna be playing baseball in the backyard. Get used to it, buddy.
But that's okay because it was really good. I read that stuff. That was good stuff.
Oh, we back to playing in the backyard. Uncanny X-Men by Gail Simone, Volume 3. Murder Me Mutina. Is that a new character too?
Yes.
Is that her? It looks like I thought that was Matt. Oh, okay. I like that cover. Okay. Gail Simone, Luciano Vecchio, and David Marquez. Oh, so David's still on the book. I love that dude's art. Collecting Uncanny X-Men 17 through 21, 112 pages, $15.99. I thought Laura Kinney was a miniseries. Laura Kinney, Wolverine Volume 2, My So-Called Perfect Life. Oh, man. My So-Called Life. I used to watch that show with Claire Danes and Jared Leto.
No, what
showing my age.
Who
is this targeting? That title.
Only survived one season. Yeah.
Didn't even make it that long. MTV, man. Oh, okay. So collecting Laura Kinney, Wolverine, number 6 through 10, 112 pages, $15.99. Adjectiveless X-Men, Volume 3. This is the Jed McKay run. Who's back? Apocalypse and Cassandra Nova.
Yeah.
All right. I recognize Cyclops. Who's the dude on? Is that Havoc? All right, wait. Okay, so this is collecting the last of Sean's books, X-Men 19 through 22, and the Hellfire Vigil. Look at that, Sean.
Boy, yeah. I can't wait till you read that one, buddy.
They better be in the backyard playing baseball is all I'm saying. 144 pages, $19.99. Storm Volume 2. This was my favorite X title out of this bunch. I hope it continues to be that good. Collecting Storm 6 through 12. And this is Thunder War.
Very
I
good.
thought, is she on a surfboard? She looks like she's on a surfboard. Is that the silver surfboard?
Does look like she's on a surfboard.
Yeah. You'd have to. I don't want to spoil anything, but
yeah. Okay. Here's another one I thought was a miniseries. Psylocke, Volume 2, Nightmares of the Past. And this is collecting issues 6 through 10. 112 pages, $15.99 by Alyssa Wong and Mahmoud Asrar's doing the cover. Vincenzo Karatu is doing the art. Oh, One World Under Doom. This is the Avengers by Jed McKay, Volume 5, Masters of Evil. And this is collecting issues 25 through 30. I didn't know Valerio Schitti was on the book now.
Yeah. Yep. He joined with Storm when they put Storm on the team.
Nice. Okay. And then Daredevil by Saladin Ahmed, The Rights of Reconciliation, collecting Daredevil 20 through 25. Now, after this, it's relaunch with a brand new number 1, right?
No, at the current moment, Daredevil is canceled with no new series on the horizon that Marvel has announced.
Okay, so is this stuff already? Well, it's not out yet.
Yeah, this run hasn't concluded yet, but as of right now, there is no Daredevil number 1 on the horizon.
Okay.
Scott Hanna doing the inks on John Romita Jr.
I love John Romita Jr., but that cover looks like he's trying to assemble something from IKEA and doing it badly.
Scott Hanna and John Romita Jr.
I would expect more from Matt Murdock, but maybe he,
I really like Scott Hanna's inks on John Romita Jr. He's the one that it was J. Michael Straczynski's run on Spider-Man.
Yes.
That was his inker at the time. I really like his inks on his book. Him and
This cover,
he's Klaus Janson. Go ahead, Curtis.
That Daredevil cover, he's holding himself up by his billy club.
Yeah,
but we don't know what the other.
I'm certain you're right. I like my interpretation better, but yeah. So.
Sure, Lars. Miles Morales, Spider-Man by Cody Ziegler, Volume 7, God War, collecting Miles Morales 32 to 36. Guys,
very good.
Okay, real question, real talk, chat. Y'all hearing this? Issue 36, is that the longest running Marvel comic right now?
Ooh.
Anybody know? Anybody watching right now, or if you're watching later, is 36? It's crazy to think about, but is 36 the longest running Marvel comic as of today?
Yes.
Has anybody anyone made it further? I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about relaunches. I'm talking about numbering.
Well, they sometimes they include the legacy numbering, which
No, they haven't. I mean, this has been straight
not here.
up,
No,
like,
not
renumber.
Here. Yeah. I don't know. That's an excellent question. Certainly, Marvel does love its.
I can't believe I'm celebrating that. Hell
yeah! Well done. You made it 3 years. Well done.
It's a big deal these days. To go past 10. It's insane.
Yeah.
This book is very good. Very underrated.
So Cody Ziegler and Marco Rena. Yeah, I like that book too, man. I agree. West Coast Avengers, another one I thought was a miniseries. This is the Jerry Dugan book with Ton Lima and Danny Kim, issues 6 through 10, 112 pages, $15.99. And this is the spinoff of Jed McKay's Avengers.
I really wanted to hate this book because it has Ultron in the Avengers, but as it turns out, it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
This art is awesome, and I like Jerry Duggan. I've had a lot of fun with this book.
Yeah, I like Dugan too, man. I think he's a solid writer. Definitely has to be in the right character for him, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be tempted to try this on Marvel Unlimited.
Look at that Alan Davis cover right there.
Look at that cover. Goodness.
Chris Claremont, come on. Wolverine and Kitty Pryde 1 through 5. So more of these retro series.
Yeah. I was waiting for this to finish, but it hasn't finished, has it?
You're asking me or single issue Sean?
Well, yeah, whomever. I mean, I was just going to read it all in one go, but I don't know it's concluded. So.
I don't think this is finished.
Okay.
I believe it is not done.
Yeah.
So this is collecting Wolverine and Kitty Pryde, the 2025 retro series, issues 1 through 5. And it's Alan Davis just doing the cover. I thought he was doing the internal artwork, but it's Damian Cucchiero doing the internal art. Yeah. 120 pages, $17.99.
I believe it's a direct sequel to the Kitty Pryde and Wolverine miniseries.
Yeah, yes. I guess that would make sense. So it's let me see, when does it take place then? Immediately after?
I don't know if it's immediately after, but it's a direct follow-on. So, like I say, I'm waiting for all 5 issues to come out, and then I'll consume it.
Okay. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale's Captain America White is coming back to print in trade paperback format. Just called this time around Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale's Captain America.
Yeah.
Collecting issues 0 through 5. So if you're a big fan of the Marvel colors like Spider-Man Blue, Hulk Gray, Daredevil Yellow, Captain America White is collected there. Curtis, it's your moment to shine, buddy. You've been waiting months for this. All right, Curtis.
Whole life has been building to this moment.
What are we looking at?
We're looking at the Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection, Volume 12, Spider-Man Threat or Menace. Collecting Amazing Spider-Man 207 to 223 and annual number 14 and 15. This is kind of a in-between period with a whole bunch of different creators. Right before Roger Stern starts his run. I think he has a couple, maybe one issue in here or something like that. But yeah, classic Spidey from the early, is this the early 80s or are we still in the late 70s? I don't remember now.
Where are we looking at? 207 to 223? We are looking at, actually, you're right. I think it is late 70s, early 80s. Because, well, if you have Miller in there, then it's got to be early 80s, if I'm not mistaken. Like
it is, yeah. It's 1980 to 1981. August 1980 to December 1981. And so this gets us 12 consecutive volumes in a row, starting from the very beginning of Spider-Man. 223 episodes in a row, or issues in a row. And later on this year, we already have volume 13 solicited as well. So it won't be too long of a wait for the follow-up of this one.
This is a question from the chat. I'm going to let Lars, our wordsmith, take it. What the F is the difference between a threat and a menace? Lars, take it away.
Sorry, where exactly is this question coming from? I'm looking for some context.
It's right
the
here.
Title of this.
Yeah, no, I know the question. Oh, sorry, from the title.
Look on your screen. How are you going to yell at me?
I'm sorry. I was distracted, concentrating something else. Threat or I guess a menace is a fully activated threat. You know, like a threat is someone may stab you, and menace is they are stabbing people.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if I agree with that, but all right, I'm gonna let that fly. That's one strike for Lars for yelling at me without reading the freaking title. That's right in front of his face. All right, Curtis. I'm sorry.
I was caught remembering that a friend of mine, when the Madam Web movie came out, a friend of mine had asked, "Now, is this different from the comics?" And I had to say, "Well, I believe in the comics. She's a senior citizen, blind, who can't rise from her chair. Whereas the movie, she's a younger woman who's quite, attractive. So something of a difference there."
Thank you, Lars. Thank you. Curtis, sorry about that. No further interruptions. Go on.
We've got a lot of Spider-Man coming at the beginning of 2026. This is Amazing Spider-Man Modern Era Epic Collection, Volume 2, The Life and Death of Spiders, collecting more of J. Michael Straczynski's revolutionary, whether you like that or not, revolutionary run on Spider-Man. It's collecting 46 to 58, and then they changed the numbering to go back to the legacy numbering for issue 500 and 502, and that cover up there is issue 500, J. Scott Campbell's first cover on an Epic collection.
This is the good stuff. I love this run so much.
This run is great.
When Warren doesn't like it. It's good.
So the first volume of this is already out, and it is, I reread it, and I remember collecting this when it first came out and loving it, and I still love it. And this volume is still good. And then after this, it starts to have some editorial interference. And so the follow-up volume of this one has also been announced. It's coming later in 2026 as well, and it's called Sins Past.
May I ask you, Curtis, what do you think about Sins Past?
Sins Past actually made me cancel my monthly Amazing Spider-Man subscription back in the day. That's when I jumped off.
Oh, okay,
Wow.
all right.
Yeah, I didn't like it, and I hadn't liked like the title was going down. In my opinion, it was meandering quite a bit before that, and that was like, what are we doing? This is just I could be spending my money elsewhere. I was getting out of superheroes, kind of in general around that time, and that was for that title in particular, that was the nail in the coffin for sure. I kept on with Ultimate Spider-Man, which was still very fun at the time.
Fair enough.
Sean, is that the answer you were expecting?
No. I mean, I know a lot of people have that feeling. I don't have that feeling. I don't know. I thought it was a really interesting story. I know that a lot of people disagree with that, but when I mean, it came out when I was like 15 and I didn't know anything, and I just read it as it was, and I thought it was really interesting. Like, oh my goodness, Gwen Stacy, made this mistake and got in bed with the Goblin, and now Peter has to deal with these damn kids. I thought it was a very interesting story.
I'm gonna add my 2 cents, and then we're gonna move on. I know there are people that, I think for everybody there is the absolute worst Spider-Man run, and I think every generation has that. When they're currently reading it, it's usually whoever the current writer is. Like when Dan Slott took over the book, it was Dan Slott's Spider-Man run is the absolute worst. JMS's run, David Michelinie's run, no matter what, whoever the writer was, just like Zeb Wells. I'm with Curtis. I actually think Since Pass is, like, most people you ask, they probably think One More Day is the worst Spider-Man story. I don't want to give away what happens. I know that Sean talked a little bit about it, but I think it really ruined a character that I later on was retcon, but I was like, just doesn't make any sense. You can't do that and move on and be like, no. And even the original idea I thought was stupid. Before editorial was like, no, it's got to be this guy, not him. And I was like, anyway.
Quickly, it's been said that there's two kinds of bad stories. The one is actually a good idea, it's just badly implemented. And then the second kind of bad story is it's just stupid on its face. And the moment you're sitting around saying, I know, Gwen Stacy was cavorting with the Green Goblin, you cannot write that story well. I mean, it's just so desperately stupid. You should never attempt it. So
she didn't like Bad Boys, not like that.
Well, not like that. No.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on to Hawkeye. Curtis, what is this?
Yeah, this is a special one because it actually completes a line. Hawkeye Epic Collection, Volume 3, Marked for Death. We have Volume 1 and 2. We skipped over Volume 3 and got Volume 4, which was the end of the classic era for Hawkeye, and now we are filling in this gap. This has Avengers Spotlight numbers 22 to 40, which was an anthology series where Hawkeye got the lead story in each issue, and then the other backup stories featured other Avengers in their own little solo tales. And this Epic Collection sometimes will just take the story that involves the hero and forget about the rest of it. But these issues are going to be presented in their entirety, which is really, really nice. We get all of the backup stories, and including the last few issues of Avengers Spotlight that don't even star Hawkeye. They're putting them in here anyway, which is great.
I'm glad they're doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, because where else would those backup stories go? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
You want
in an orphaned Epic Collections.
Oh, I know. Unless you're prepared to do just Avengers Spotlight epics, then this is how you should play it.
The orphaned Epic Collections. Oh, speaking of Mark Waid and his return to Captain America, Curtis, what's next?
Captain America Epic Collection Volume 24. This one's called American Nightmare. This is the first volume of the hero's return era of Captain America. So all of the titles got canceled, and this was the first time. They were rebooted for the first time in what we now know as Heroes Reborn. where they were trying to update all the origins, and all those characters had stayed there for a year, and then they came back to the regular Marvel universe and they launched them all again with a new number one. It's kind of the beginning of all of these number ones. So this is Captain America 1998, or Volume 3, 1 to 14, plus Iron Man and Captain America Annual 98, and Captain America and Citizen V Annual 98. This is important because for the past decade, we had been assuming that the classic era epic collections were ending with the Onslaught era, because there was no indication that they were going that any of these long-running titles that ended at Heroes Reborn were going to go past Heroes Reborn. And now we have a title in the Heroes Return era. And so this also follows Thor, which we just got an epic collection a couple weeks ago, which also has his first Heroes Return era epic collection. So there we go.
I actually agree with Comics Dude. Not as good as Waid's first run, but that was really stellar. That was coming off of like Mark Grunwald's run. By the way, rest in peace, Mark Grunwald, man. I think yesterday was his celebration of life anniversary.
Yes, I was going to say rest in peace. He passed on quite a long time ago, but yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I always like. It's just crazy that I'm older than he is now when he passed away.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
that hits. I was actually in college when I found a buddy of mine called and told me that he passed. I was like, oh my god, Grunwald.
Was it 30 years ago this year? Is this his 30th anniversary?
1997 is when he passed. So
Okay. Almost 30.
It's just crazy to think about. I'm a couple of years older than he is when he passed away.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly of a heart attack. But one of the things you never understood why Waid got rid of his shield for 20 issues. I don't think it was Waid, was it? Wasn't it Kurt Busiek that got rid of the shield to do the energy shield? And then Waid had to carry it over to this title because of continuity. Yeah, I think it was Busiek that got rid of it. Oh, look at that! I love this cover, man. Rom. All right, talk to me, Curtis.
Rom Epic Collection, the original Marvel Years Volume 3. These ones don't get, actual subtitles. This one's just the original Marvel Years Volume 3. More of this title. This is Rom 34 to 47, Annual 2, and Marvel 2-in-1 99, which won't be in the Marvel 2-in-1 Epic Collections because of this licensed character. So if you want a complete Marvel 2-in-1 set of Epic Collections, you'll probably either have to buy the single issue or get this Epic Collection here. The first 2 volumes of these are out. The second one just came out last week, I think, right? And this is a great series. Bill Mantlo and Sal Buscema doing what they do best. They are such a great team together, and this for such a silly toy concept, they took something and turned it into an amazing science fiction fantasy world.
So 2 things. James is saying that the shield was destroyed by Waid. Thank you, James. I don't remember. I really thought it was Busiek, but thank you for that correction. Curtis, what's volume 23 of Captain America American Epic Collection?
It's going to be Heroes Reborn.
So Heroes Reborn is mapped in, because 22 was the Man Without Country, right?
Yeah, exactly. The first Waid run.
Okay. That's crazy. So that's so volume 23 will be the Rob Liefeld and Jeff Loeb stuff. And then who else? Was it Chap Yap? I can't remember who else took over the book. James Robinson, I think, ended up taking over when it wrapped up without issue number 13, of course.
Or Brett Booth. Did Brett Booth work on that one? He did something
Booth
in Heroes
Reborn. Fantastic Four.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, Jim Lee started it, and then Brett Booth took over it. And that's it. That is the catalog. Mighty Marvel Masterworks, no Masterworks. Or not catalog, I'm so sorry. The Solicits. Let's go back to the beginning, give you a quick recap, and then talk about what we're most excited for and talk about these books and see if there's any questions. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Omnibus, that is coming out in April 2026. The Black Widow and Captain America by Waid and Samnee Omni, that is coming out in March of 2026. What If Into the Multiverse Omnibus Volume 3, and that is April of 2026. And Dawn of X Volume 2, The Age of Krakoa, Avengers Omnibus Volume 6, and then we have the Star Wars Legends. Yeah, there's two every year. There's 2 months that are smaller than every other month. I can't remember what they are. This is one of them, and I think one in the spring, if I'm not mistaken. Star Wars Legends: The Empire Omnibus Volume 4, and The Death of the Silver Surfer, the standard size hardcover. And then we have Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood trade paperback. All New Venom. Who is All New Venom? Only Sean and I know because we've been spoiled. He read it. I've been spoiled by the freaking internet. Exceptional X-Men Volume 2, The Deep End. Uncanny X-Men Volume 3, Murder Me Mutina or Mutina. Laura Kinney Wolverine Volume 2, My So-Called Perfect Life. And X-Men by Jed McKay, Volume 2, or 3, The Hellfire Vigil. Storm Volume 2, The Thunder Wars. Psylocke Volume 2, Nightmares of the Past. And then Avengers. This is the crossover with One World Under Doom. And this is Volume 5, Masters of Evil. This is Jed McKay era. Daredevil by Saladin Ahmed, Volume 5, Rights of Reconciliation. This is the finale, right, Sean?
Yes.
No more after this, which right now is Daredevil. Yeah, Daredevil isn't coming out with this monthlies. Miles Morales Spider-Man by Cody Ziegler, Volume 7, God War. The West Coast Avengers, Volume 2, The War of Ultron. Wolverine and Kitty Pryde in the Retro series by Chris Claremont and Damian Cushiero. And, of course, covers by Alan Davis. Jeff Loeb and Tim Sells Captain America, White, coming back to print. And then we have Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection, Spider-Man Threat or Menace. And thank you to Lars for telling us the difference between a threat and a menace.
I'm here to help.
Don't know if Curtis is still. Curtis, are you good to talk, or you need a little bit of a? You have Alf as your freaking avatar. Never mind. I'm just gonna move on. Amazing Spider-Man.
He looks exactly the same. Okay.
Nice. Modern Era Epic Collection, Volume 2, The Life and Death of Spiders. The Hawkeye Classic Epic Collection, Marked for Death. This is Volume 3. And then Captain America Epic Collection, Volume 24, American Nightmare, the return of Mark Waid to the book, along with Ron Garney, and he's joined by Andy Kubert and Patch Searcher and Del Eaglesham. Rom Epic Collection, Volume 3, the original Marvel years. Lars, have you seen the Fantastic Four First Steps? Lars?
I have.
We could come back to this question. I'd like to know that too.
I'm not sure my thoughts are any more important than anyone else's, but I'm happy to answer it.
They're not, but I'd like to know. I'd like to know.
They are. They
are.
Is it me, or is Rom like on stage gyrating his groin at us? I'm a little concerned here.
He knows what sells, baby. He knows.
He is working.
He knows the target audience, Lars.
That's a prominent crotch.
That's his. Never mind. Okay. What's the book you're most excited for? And then, of course, I love asking the chat that is watching right now, and you can leave it in the comments later if you're watching later. What's the book out of the whole solicit here that you're most excited for, Sean?
Yeah, I think that I would really like to read Mark Waid's Cap, and this being a place where you can start. This being a place where it's right after the Heroes Reborn
Epic Collection.
Yeah,
let's go back.
I would love to read that because I have no familiarity with this era at all.
No, you haven't read any of this.
No, and fun fact, I was trying to figure out who the leader of Hydra is in this book, but it's in the title, The American Nightmare. It's got to be Cody Rhodes, for my wrestling fans.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? He's out of this book. Oh, hold on a second. Hey, David. My son and I ran into you at Heroes Con, and you recommended the current Transformers book. I bought the hardcover for his birthday, and we both love it. Oh, I'm so glad you like it, man. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. I love that book too, and I know that Dan Warren Johnson just wrapped it up with issue 24, so that will be in the second hardcover. And we know that Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora are going to be the new creative team, so I'm excited to see where that goes from there. But that's great, dude.
I enjoy how he said, I bought it for his birthday, and we both love it.
But that's right. That's love, man. That's what you do between fathers and sons.
It's just efficient that way. Yeah.
Well, he had to read
Absolutely.
it first to make sure that it was kosher for his son, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. You have to screen it, don't you?
Yes.
What about you, Lars? What are you most excited for, buddy?
Ooh, little bit of a toss-up for me. I am definitely interested in the Black Widow Captain America one. Again, purely because I haven't read it, and that creative team is a winner. So I am very tempted by that one. But I think for me, the prize has to go to the Dawn of Krakoa #2, because, you know, I wonder if this is solicited 6 months after volume 1. And that makes me wonder, are we going to get a Krakoa volume every 6 months? And it just, you know, I feel like Marvel's a freaking publisher. You know, they give people what they want. And this takes some commitment. So I have to kind of admire their commitment and dedication to this. Because even I kind of want it, and I have most of the material. It's ridiculous.
Well, let's not forget, it also depends, you know, on people's interest in it in the cells. Right?
Of
So
course.
People really buying it up is what's really sending that message.
Yes, I think you're right. Although if they're calling it Dawn of X Omnibus, one wonders if they're going to retitle them as they go along.
Well, if they don't like volume numbers, they would, you know, I would assume use what they use for the anthology trade paper.
Well, maybe the next one's going to be like X of Swords Omnibus or something like that.
That would be cool. And then put that trade dress on it, and then call the next part the Reign of X and the Trials of X and Destiny of X, and then the Fall of X. Reign. Power. What's the Rise of the Powers? Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And Curtis, what's the one book you're most excited for, buddy? I'm gonna choose for Curtis because he's not here right now. So I'm gonna go with let's see what this
Hawkeye?
is. I'm gonna go with Rom because he's never read that material. I'm guessing Rom Volume 3. He's never read it. It's the first time it's been available at Marvel Comics outside of the Omni, but Curtis is an epic guy, hence the name of his podcast that is on hiatus, I think. But I'm gonna go with Rom Epic Collection, the original Marvel Years, Volume 3.
Yeah,
Curtis.
Yes, I wish Curtis were out of the shower or wherever he's gone, because it feels like these Robin Micronauts ones. It feels like they're a bit thinner than the others, and maybe I'm just hallucinating there.
That's 408 pages.
408 pages, yeah.
But that's thicker than some of these.
Well, yeah, it could be
488, 456. And 416, so it's almost as thick as the.
Okay. I stand corrected. The first one seemed a bit thin.
Curtis would obviously choose an Omni.
Clearly,
that would be crazy. And for me, this is a toss up, but I got to choose one. Then I got to go with Black Widow, Captain America.
Yeah.
Because it's just a reminder of like gap fillers. I've gotten to that age of. I've been collecting these type of books, this type of format for 20 plus years. And I get excited for future volume numbers, but now I'm more excited for the gap fillers. Like, I've been waiting for this book. And this one is, I mean, it's not like it's that long I've been waiting for it. Ta-Nehisi Coates and the Nick Spencer Omni haven't been out that long, the volume 2. It's just nice that they're thinking, people would like this. We need to put it somewhere. Let's put it here.
So quality is irrelevant is what you're saying, as long as it fills a gap.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody in the comments, let me know what you're most excited for. So I'm going to go through here and see what people are excited for.
Which of these, by the way, Omar, which cover would you get?
Oh, that's tough. Honestly, the Black Widow cover.
Yeah, I'd vote for Black Widow.
Yeah. Unless the spines are different, which I'm going to ask. If it says Captain America and Black Widow on the direct market, I may have to get that one just because of the spine. Because I would put it with my Captain Americas. I love Black Widow, and I hope one day we get a modern Black Widow omnibus. But Captain America, yeah, I'd probably.
You kind of hope not, because that's not the title. If they put Captain America first, that's not.
All they have to do is play a little switcheroo.
No, I mean I know, but yeah.
I'm not asking them to recreate like the alphabet. I'm just asking them to put like Captain America first. Anyway.
But I'll check this one out because it does seem interesting.
Let's see what everybody else is excited for. Dawn of X, Volume 2, assuming the map for Volume 1 doesn't suck.
Yeah.
And my buddy Edwin is excited for Avengers 6.
Krakoa's out first week of October, I think, so we won't have to wait long to find out.
Well, I thought it was September. It's not September?
I thought it was October. Maybe I'm mistaken.
If only we had a device.
I know. I know.
Let us look.
Well, I'll fire up my crystal ball here and see.
In the meantime, classic Spider-Man, Captain America, and Hawkeye Epics. All new Venom, Miles Morales, and Amazing Spider-Man Modern Era Epic Collection.
Well, technically, we're both right. September 30th.
How is that technically making you right?
It's September 30th.
So you're rounding down?
You're damn right.
Oh my god!
You would make one hell of a lawyer, Lars. Dawn of X Volume 2. Been holding out for this era to get the Omnis. Dang, you've been waiting a while. By the way, I love your Uncle Scrooge from the new DuckTales.
Yeah, that is
Don't
good.
let Don Rosa see that. Let's see. Most Wanted, Spider-Man Threat, or Menace. Thank you for that definition.
Yes.
Can't believe I'm saying this, but all new Venom. I think it's awful, but I'm obsessed with Carlos Gomez artwork. Other than that, Captain America and Black Widow. Never read the Captain America part. If you had final say, how would you map Krakoa Omnis, by series or by issues? Oh, I would map it definitely not singles. No. I would do it by series and story arcs. So if a story arc isn't interrupted by another issue that came out that same month, then you continue. You do like the first 4 issues of something and then you move on. That's the way I read. Like when I go back and when I had time and went back and reread X-Men, that was my that's the way I would map it in my head before I even knew about Omnis, where like they were even a thing. I would do a reread and I would do, I'm going to do a story arc. I'm going to read these many issues of X Factor, then move on to Uncanny X-Men as it was happening at the same time, move on to New Mutants and then Excalibur, Wolverine. I think, that would be the best approach, because to me, like part of the collected editions is you want to give the reader the best reading experience. Reading it in single issues is just like, here's a reminder of why you don't collect single issues anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many of them, man. Omar, don't be silly. Oh, I already clicked on that. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, Omni, and Dawn of X Volume 2. There you go. Curtis, what's your number? What's the book you're most excited for, buddy?
I'm looking forward to the Spider-Man Epic Collection. I haven't read any of those issues yet.
So I knew you. Go ahead.
What?
I chose Rom for you.
We thought for sure you'd want Rom.
Yeah.
Oh well, Rom is a close second. Absolutely, close second.
Okay.
But I am looking forward to this one just because this is an era that I just never stumbled upon before. So I'm looking forward to reading it.
And now you're stumbling, my friend. All right. Curtis is ordering a bunch of Omni-sized books he doesn't want to see. That's what he was doing. Avengers 6. I have volumes 1 through 5. I got to keep going. Black Widow and Captain America, Omnibus and Wolverine and Kitty Pryde. Avengers 6 and What If 3. Black Widow and Cap. Black Widow and Cap. Of course, Tommy Ariel. Avengers 6. I'm old enough now. Fill my caps. Exactly what I tell my dentist. Hey, dude, how are you, Aaron? Both of the Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collections. Hope you're doing well, brother. Omar, do you think there's enough material for them to do a black, white, and red omnibus? Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. There's probably going to be more, enough for like 2 volumes. But then that licensing gets in there, right? Because then you have Aliens. Would they let them do that with Star Wars and Wolverine? Maybe. Waid, Samnee, Black Widow, and Captain America. Use more Cap fillers like Material and Marvel Knights or Captain America and the Avengers. Oh, dude, that would be good. I was just thinking about that Captain America and the Avengers series. 100% Krakoa Omni for me. Omar, if you had final say, how would you map it? Oh, series, but story arcs. Black Widow, Cap, and Dawn of X. Fine with caps on the spine and the direct market cover. Not November, but really looking forward to Bruce Jones Hulk Omni. I'm about damn time. Yes, me too. Avengers 6, and people are saying end of September, same as Blue and Gold. Mid-September, Dawn of X 2. Somebody tell Lars that's not October. The modern Black Widow Omnibus will probably come out as soon as I have bought the modern era Epic Collections. If they do that for Captain America Black Widow, ask them to make an alternate cover for Deadpool X-Force and say X-Force 2. Who was it? Sean or I think Lars said they probably won't do that. And they're right. They probably won't. I had an idea that David loved years ago. It was when they were reprinting the Inferno prologue as an omnibus. I was like, oh, you know what you could do? You could make the direct market cover The Fall of the Mutants Aftermath. You could call it that. And then the standard edition, you could call it the Inferno prologue. And he was like, oh my gosh, that's actually a really good idea. And then he got back to me like a couple of days later going, yeah, we can't do that. The book market would hate us.
And then do like a Barnes & Noble edition called The Brood Saga 2 or something like that.
Well, I was like, as a nerd, I'm like, oh my gosh, which one do I get? I love Inferno, but Fall of the Mutants is my favorite crossover. Yeah. And he was
what
like,
they could do though is
the book market would kill us.
They could do a reversible dust jacket. They could print a different thing with a different spine on the underside of the dust jacket. That way they don't have to solicit it as a different book. They could just flip it. There's Uncanny X-Men volume, whatever it is, 6 or whatever.
Yep.
Oh, my friend, that somebody suggested that for Wolverine, the Dying, what was it? The Not Dead Yet. And make it Wolverine volume 7 on the inside. And I thought about that. The only time they've ever done anything like not reversible dust jacket, but it was inside was the fold out poster for that Silver Surfer Gallery edition, the hardcover, the Parable book. That's about the only time. That would be killer. I don't know if they would do that, but that would be cool.
Yeah, you were putting a fold out in a book. Putting a fold out in a book is a little bit more expensive, but printing on both sides of the dust jacket, while it does have a little bit more of an expense, I can't imagine that it would be enough to. You probably wouldn't up the cover price for that kind of thing.
Right. No.
I can ask. I can suggest. Black Widow Cap by Waid looks great. Completely unrelated, but any recommendations on reading order of Spider-Man Miles Morales 1 and 2, Spider-Man Spider-Gwen 1 and 2, Spider-Verse Omni Secret War. Oh my gosh. Matt, that's a big question.
Do we need to send him to Crushing Crisis for the reading order there?
Yeah, I think Peter actually has. I would like to think he's done this. Okay, so off the top of my head, Secret War before anything that you mentioned. And then after that, I would go with Superior Spider-Man. And then it's tough because Spider-Verse does involve Spider-Gwen, but because it also has the Spider-Geddon Omni, so then you need Miles for that. So I would go Secret War, Spider-Man, or Miles Morales 1, Superior Spider-Man, Miles Morales 2. Go ahead and get to know the character Spider-Gwen in Volume 1, go to Spider-Verse, Spider-Geddon, and then go to Volume 2 of Spider-Gwen. And Bob's your uncle. There you go.
Wow,
look at that.
Dude. I don't know how the hell you did that off the top of your head.
I forgot to go pick up my kid. My daughter texted me. I wish I was kidding. And I was like, no. I'm sorry. Let me reverse that. I did not forget to pick her up. I forgot to tell her my mom was coming to pick her up because I'm doing the show. I'm not that bad. I'm not the greatest dad, but I'm also not that bad of a dad. And she's like, where are you? And I'm like, oh, I forgot to tell you Beam was coming today. So that's how I remember stuff. The important stuff I forget to tell my children and my family. Yeah, whatever. Birthdays, anniversaries. But by God, I remember how to read Spider-Man in proper reading order.
Wow, rare talent.
Yeah. Way to go, Dad of the Year. All right. Now, the important question that was asked a little bit earlier. Everybody seen the Fantastic Four movie?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Without spoilers, what would you guys give it out of 10?
I gave Fantastic Four a 9 out of 10 when I
10?
reviewed it on the Comics Pals. I loved it. I've seen it twice. I think it's phenomenal. The best thing I can say about it without any spoilers is how faithful it feels to the aesthetic and intent of the Fantastic Four. It's very respectful to the core ideas at play in those early issues of the Fantastic Four. And it very much feels like Marvel's first movie that's genuinely about family. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciated that.
Okay. Lars.
Yeah.
Lars. No, I'm just kidding. Lars, what did you think of the Fantastic Four?
I did really enjoy it. I'd probably rank it up a little lower. Maybe I don't know, an 8.5 seems about right. As you say, it knows what it's doing. I mean, it invokes the Fantastic Four and it sticks to that. So they stayed on target. It was very watchable. It truly is a Fantastic Four movie. I think I'm in the minority. Personally, I would not have cast Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby. They're fine actors. I like them a lot. I've seen other things they've been in and perfectly like them. I don't think for me they inhabited Reed and Sue very well. I would prefer to see someone else's Reed and Sue.
Like Reed and Sue based on the script, or Reed and Sue based on what you think of Reed and Sue in your head?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a very good question. I certainly don't. Pedro Pascal is a great actor. I enjoyed him in Game of Thrones. I've enjoyed him in other things. I don't think he brought anything to Reed. I think it seemed like he walked in and he said his lines, and he said them very well, but I don't feel like he inhabited the character at all. And I didn't ultimately feel like he had a lot of chemistry with Vanessa. So I would have recast. So that's my big misgiving. Other than that, pretty great film. One friend of mine was outraged about, like, did we need to have a scene where a woman gives birth in low gravity? And I'm like, I don't know why there's a problem with a woman giving birth in low gravity. It doesn't personally offend me. So yeah,
that's not how it happened in the comics, Lars.
Well,
She was definitely in a lot of gravity.
There is definite gravity when Franklin is born. No, I think I told you about the friend I had to stop going to movies with because he would literally be shouting in the movie theater if they didn't adhere to the source material. The biggest one for me was that he was mortally offended unto death that they called the cosmic cube the Tesseract. And he was screaming aloud, and I had to tell him, I'm like, okay, first of all, you forget the name Cosmic Cube is in fact kind of stupid. And I mean, we only like it because we're comic book fans. And the second thing is I have to stop going to movies with you. Because,
how do you take it?
Fine. I mean, he's kind of he has kind of a calloused individual with thick lizard skin. So I think he's okay. So, yeah. So I'd stop going with no. So yeah, Fantastic Four, I would say very good, but I would have recast.
What about you, Curtis? What did you think of the Fantastic Four First Steps?
I think I would give it probably an 8.5 as well. I personally thought that Pascal and Kirby were fantastic. All puns intended whenever we say fantastic when talking about this movie. I think you said that you thought that he came in and just kind of delivered his lines and stepped out, but I feel like that's kind of my version of Reed, is that disconnect to reality because he's in his own mind. And I thought I thought the way I perceived how you perceived his acting was trying to be that disconnected kind of a guy. He's like he's just half there in the room.
I hear you. I was not convinced it was a deliberate choice. And if it was a deliberate choice on Mr. Pascal's part, then I agree with you completely. I'm not sure it was.
And I think it was a deliberate choice because we've seen him act in a bunch of different movies and he's wildly different in all of them. So if that was his choice to do it here, then I have to assume that it was intentional.
Possibly.
See, I would also say that I felt like there were moments within the movie where he stepped in. I thought that there were a couple of moments where, especially there's a moment in particular, there's a really great line that Reed delivers to their child. And it is a beautiful line where I felt Pedro stepped in and delivered it with such emotion that it choked me up. It's the line where he sort of says, I know there's something wrong with me. But I don't want to project that onto you. I want you to be who you're going to be. Like, I feel like all parents have to have that sort of moment with their children where it's like, I need to let you be who you're going to be as a human.
Yeah.
And I thought he really brought life to that.
It did also have some dicky CGI, if we're being honest. I mean, Galactus, I thought they just about got away with that, but I felt the Surfer was bad.
What?
So
Dude,
the-
I love the Surfer scenes. I thought they were great.
Well, no, it's not the scene. I just thought it was bad CGI.
Really? No,
I don't think that. So people always say it's bad CGI, but there is no comic book movie out there that doesn't have bad CGI. That's
Agreed.
just where the technology is.
Howard the Duck.
I think
Howard the Duck is a flawless, peerless.
Where are
movie.
you, Curtis? How dare you?
Yeah,
you're right. I forgot about those movies that were before CGI existed.
right.
Dude.
There is no bad CGI in Howard the Duck.
Go back and watch the original Spider-Man movie. You can literally see a damn trampoline when Green Goblin is jumping. You can see a trampoline. That we've come a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My only point is that I think with the CGI, you have to suspend your disbelief for that kind of stuff. There's there's no getting around it. It's always going to be there. The technology is not perfect, and so it's like we could complain till we're blue in the face, but there is no movie out there, comic book movie out there, where the CGI is perfect.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just sometimes, but especially when the other CGI looks so awesome, and then you get that disconnect.
I know. I didn't have a problem with the Surfer. I think the CGI baby at times kind of
CGI baby was weird.
That was a little weird because
Better.
I don't know a silver chrome woman, but I've seen lots of babies, so I know the way they're supposed to look, and I think that was it, right? Like I can suspend my disbelief.
You've seen a lot of babies. Do you just go to the maternity ward and watch?
I don't have the kind of parties like Lars goes to.
I will say we're having this conversation when the Iowa State Fair is running, and they do have a building at the Iowa State Fair where like many different kinds of animals were giving birth. And even I, being farm boy, did find it a little disconcerting because you walk in and there are these giant screens of videos of pigs giving birth right there.
Who's the target audience for that?
Whoa.
I think it's that you take your kids in so they learn where their food comes from. But
this is why you use. Never.
I think it was the giant video screens that were a bit much even for me. But they had baby everything. They had baby ostriches in the building, and they're adorable, by the way.
Have any of you watched any movies in the new Screen X format?
No.
Screen X,
I live in
which is
Kentucky,
the one
man.
where
We ain't get that technology until like 2035 or something.
they've painted the walls of the theater on the sides white so that they can project the movie up the sides of the theater. And so I saw Fantastic Four and I saw Thunderbolts. I think I might have, and it's like there's no regular showings of movies anymore. I can't just go and see a regular movie. It's either 3D or D-Box or AVX or whatever. Now Screen X is the most normal version I can find. But so it's the screen, and then they extend all of this stuff up so like your peripheral vision is just you're immersed in this movie. And you're not really supposed to pay attention to what's on the sides. It's just supposed to be, again, in your peripherals. But so I saw Thunderbolts, and that one actually was weird because the camera's so shaky, and when you have the whole theater shaking, like it doesn't work. Superman looked great in Screen X, but Fantastic Four, they were cutting so many corners. And I was watching Screen X, at one of the sides, there is the scene where Reed is trying to revive. Spoiler alert, trying to revive a character, and I'm not going to say, and one of the other characters puts his hand on Reed's back to give it a break or something like that, or they're there, and for the frame you can only see the hand enter the shot, but for Screen X you can see two characters on the side of the wall there because they have to make the screen bigger, but it's a still image, and it was like they were not moving, and like you're not supposed to notice that, but it's like somebody forgot to render that fully or something. It was weird. It's a weird format. I
enjoyed Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
but I think I'm with Sean. I gave it a 9 out of 10. It was a really good movie. It's nice to see a villain not have any quips in the MCU. Just be a straight up villain, creepy. It's nice to see Reed not act like Doctor Strange. So I feel like Doctor Strange is a different character, and I'm glad we got that. He didn't have any quips.
Yeah.
Also,
I really liked the dialogue in this movie. I thought all of the dialogue was very natural and conversational. And I especially think back to like the old the original Fantastic Four with Chris Evans as Human Torch, and like his lines are all the typical like, here I'm just doing sound bites as my dialogue left and right, and like his quipping with Ben, it was like, this is all early 2000s quippy comedy dialogue, but
Yeah.
all of the dialogue in this movie, especially their banter between the two of them, came off effortlessly, and it seemed so natural, and I loved that about it.
It really felt like a family. I know that Lars had a problem with the chemistry between Reed and Sue, but to me, it really felt like a family. Like they were like, it was like a slice of like a documentary, and we're looking at the inside of this family.
Overall,
I like that.
Overall, they get it done. I would agree.
The aesthetics, that Tomorrowland, that
Retro
Home of Tomorrow type of, like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And they put a lot of thought into it too, in the way that these things would work. It's not just like, oh, here's some gimmicky looking cars, or here's a telephone and how weird it would work. No, like they put a lot of thought into the way the technology would work in this universe. And then when it's revealed why it's the 828 universe, without going into spoilers, that brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah.
At the very, very end. I was like, oh,
Very cool.
you bastards. That was good. Yeah. I really enjoyed it.
When you talk about theaters, it took a while here in Des Moines, but we finally got a decent IMAX because our traditional IMAX is at the Science Center of Iowa, which is one of the early ones. And what friends of mine went, and it was apparently these early IMAXs, if you sat in the wrong spot, you would get quite nauseous. And so what I was told was you need to be center up to the top. All right. And that will stop you from being nauseous. So friends of mine would say, do you want to go to this movie at IMAX? I said, it depends on whether I end up vomiting or not. So we'll have to get the right chairs.
The right chairs. I like that. Hey, Richard, how are you, buddy? So I hope everybody else enjoyed it. We went to go see Weapons, and I still think my movie of the year is Sinners. Love
Sinners was good.
Yeah.
Sinners was really good.
And Weapons was good. I didn't like it as much as Barbarian, but I thought it was good. It's been a good year for movies. Like, I enjoyed both Fantastic Four and Superman, which I was really worried that both of those movies were just not going to do well. And I'm glad. I hope they're doing well. I don't know how well they're doing, but I hope
they are doing well. Though the heady days of a guaranteed $1 billion aren't quite there yet, but they are doing well.
Good. I like.
Yeah,
to hear
they've turned the decline around, which is the most important thing.
That's nice. I was worried that both of those would be bombs, and I hope word of mouth is spreading and people go and see these movies. And they were a lot of fun. And I was, as soon as I got out of Fantastic Four, I was like, I need to take my family to go see this. It was really good. Right. Yeah, that's the way I felt about it.
People sometimes say there's too many superhero films and we have superhero fatigue, but it was also commented that Hollywood needs the superhero genre. It can't have the superhero genre collapse utterly because there's no guarantee that it can be that profit engine that they need. So, because Sinners was, I thought, quite great. It didn't make as much, of course, because it's not a blockbuster exactly. Right. But a great movie.
Well, and it was also not a summer movie, right? It came out at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it did.
It's already on HBO. Not that you have to be that. Not that you have to wait that long anymore these days. No. But I thought
so far, Sinners would get my vote for the best film of the year, but we're spoiled for choice.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else came out. There's a couple more movies I want to go see this year, but and I think that's it for superhero movies, right? Superman.
Yeah, because Spider-Man's out next year.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
Can we all agree?
New season of Peacemaker coming.
Yeah, my daughter and I started watching Alien Earth yesterday, and I dug the first episode. I was like, oh, now I kind of want to watch 2. No, we're saying Sinners. Sinners. Yeah, not censors.
Like we are.
Dang it! I haven't seen Mission Impossible Part 2: Reckoning, whatever it's called. Yeah. Dang it! Wonder Man. When is Wonder Man dropping?
Oh yeah.
That is later in the year. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I want to watch Alien Earth, but I don't have Disney Plus, so I need to sneak over to a friend's house to watch it.
It's pretty solid. It's on Hulu as well. I don't know if that.
I don't have Hulu. So I don't have Hulu or Disney Plus. I
Peacemaker my wife is super excited about. Like, my wife is so excited about Peacemaker. She never does this. She's like, let's rewatch season 1. Because Melanie is never about watching things. Like, she hates like, I have to beg her to come to the movies. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're gonna like it, and it's got to be worth it. And I made the mistake of taking her to go see 28 Years Later, which I did not enjoy at all, and I was really disappointed in it. But that's for another story day. But yeah, she's really excited about Peacemaker season 2, that she wants to rewatch season 1. So I was like, all right, let's do it. We got like a week, because I think it comes out next week, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, Eyes of Wakanda is out? I didn't know Eyes of Wakanda came out.
That is out, yeah.
Wow.
When did that come out?
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, something like that.
Couple of weeks ago.
No buzz. Nobody's talking about it.
We've been waiting for the near mint condition review episode, and it's just not coming.
Yeah. I don't know. Did they promote it all that well? I'm not sure they promoted it all that well.
I haven't, dude. I'll be honest with you. I haven't seen a single. Is there a trailer?
I would assume so.
I don't know who's in it. Don't know what it's about. Nothing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Thank you for that. -1 strike, Curtis.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you all like 20 Years Later, but I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was trying to be artsy, and then it was 5 different movies that I got in there, and I'm like, what? This is the same creative team.
The chat is mentioning that The Boys is wrapping up this year. There's
Boys and Gen V. Gen V is coming back as well. Yeah, for season 2.
Gen V is so good.
Yeah, it's a shame that one actor passed away. The young man. I think it was a motorcycle accident. I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess they'll write off his character. I can't imagine them recasting.
I was in a teacher's classroom recently, and their high school students had there was these high schools have been doodling characters from The Boys, and they had tacked them up on the wall behind them. And I'm like, I'm all in favor of teenagers being creative and artistic, but The Boys characters are odd choices for.
Boys from the comics or the boys?
No,
from
the TV show. Specifically the TV show.
They're a lot more likable in the TV show than the comics, though, Lars. So you got to give them that.
Are they?
They're awful in the comic books.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but but they were drawing like the Deep, from the TV show, and I'm like, okay, this is I'm supporting you, but this is a little disturbing.
Anyone looking forward to the Red Sonja movie? Anyone, anywhere? Maddie invited me to go see it last night, but I was doing some one-on-ones and I couldn't get out. I'm curious to see it. I don't know how well it's going to be. It's another one that it wasn't advertised that well. So when she texted me, I was like, oh, it's out? I had no idea it was coming out so early. I thought it was like later on this year.
Some of these people are just so wonderfully optimistic. I mean, they must have sat around and gone, let's do a Red Sonja movie. It'll make a ton of money.
But that's been in the work for decades, man. Remember when it was Rose McGowan that was attached to the project with Robert Rodriguez filming it? It's not, I think it's just license holding and IPs. It takes forever for these things to come out.
No, I understand. But, I don't know. Does the American public want a Red Sonja movie? Maybe I'm wrong.
Why would you not want a redheaded warrior woman out there slashing away dudes with a steel bikini?
They'd want it if it was good. I just don't have confidence.
Well, that's part of it. Yes, no, I agree. But even some things, even if they're good,
I'm curious if Bridget Nielsen and Flavor Flav are going to make a cameo. That's what I want to see in the Red Sonja movie.
That would be fascinating.
That's a deep cut. That means you had to watch Flavor of Love.
I was all over it, dude. All over it.
And you'd have to know that Bridget Nielsen also played the original Red Sonja. Yes. Apparently it came out this week. Yeah, it just came out this week. Okay. How was Naked Gun? I haven't seen it yet. Watching Liam Neeson in that kind of mood feels confusing. But then again, Leslie Nielsen was a serious actor, right? And then he started doing things like with the Sucker Brothers on Airplane and Police Squad. So sometimes these guys have good comedic timing. I don't know how Liam Neeson did, or did you all see the movie? I haven't seen it.
My life has been topsy-turvy. It was a film I wanted to go see, but I was off in the bowels of Wisconsin last weekend, so I didn't get there.
I was open to go and see it. It wasn't it was the trailer that got me, though. Because I was, when people told me about it, I was doing a live stream and I was like, I don't know if you could do the humor in Naked Gun like you could back in the day. And they were like, dude, you need to watch the trailer. Just wait until you see the ending. And I'm like, all right, let's see. And then it's the police squad like talking to their fathers, and it gets to O.J. Simpson's son, and he just looks at the camera. I was like, okay, this might work.
Yeah.
This might work.
Yeah.
So,
I wanted to go see it. I couldn't go see it. That's the sort of film that like I could maybe watch on streaming. I don't know how much it benefits from being in the theater. But I'm looking forward to it.
Shin Godzilla is receiving a wide and non-fathom 4K theatrical release for a full week. They're also, my buddy Bruce sent me a message that they're reprinting, or it's a steelbook of Shin Godzilla that they're doing. Yeah. There's like a pre-order open right now for it. It's a great movie if you haven't seen Shin Godzilla. And that's the Hideo Anno's movie, the guy that did Evangelion. Have any of you seen Evangelion? Maybe Sean? Nope, none of. Curtis, you've seen Evangelion, right?
Well, you're talking about like the anime from way back in the day, or you're talking about something different?
Don't make me feel that old. Yes, I'm talking about Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Okay. Yes, yeah, definitely.
So the director of that did this Shin Godzilla movie, and it feels like an Evangelion movie. Like even the music sounds like when the Avas, like the angels are coming, and the like the dum dum, like he uses that music in the Shin Godzilla movie. It's so awesome, dude. It's a different type of movie though. Like, don't expect giant monster fights the entire time.
Okay,
we need a Dredd 2. Yes, we do. All right, everybody.
He's doing Judge Dredd, which that could be quite fun.
Oh wait, I thought he was working on something else.
I think it's been announced. Taika Waititi is doing Judge Dredd. Yeah.
Let's sign out for today because I gotta go and talk to my kids here in
if you must
figure out the rest of the schedule. I will be interviewing Mike Carey live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time. If you want to join, he's one of my favorite writers, and he's here to talk. It's going to be a live interview at 2 p.m. from 2 to 3. So make sure you're watching. And then I definitely got on my calendar to go and pick up my kid tomorrow. See, it's on my calendar to go and pick him up, not to remind him who's picking him up. Above me is Sean from the Comic Pals. Where can people find you, buddy?
As Omar said, the Comics Pals, thank you guys for watching. I am so grateful for you guys tuning in today, and thank you for having me. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you've enjoyed what we've done here so far. I am pulling double duty today as I will be live on the Comics Pals YouTube channel at 8 p.m. Eastern to talk about this week's comic book releases. So we're going to be reviewing all the big releases, the Ultimates, Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, Batman Dark Patterns, all that good stuff you can find us reviewing. And also, this past Tuesday on my channel, we spoke to Robert Kirkman and David Finch.
Okay.
So check that out. Nice. It was an incredible interview. I'm really grateful that we were able to get that. And appreciate everybody watching.
Okay.
Excellent. Go on with Lars.
Go on. Lars Pearson, Mad Norwegian Press. We do an awful lot of stuff on, well, we've done X-Files book. We've done a, G.I. Joe book and so on. But we're mainly known for Doctor Who. And with Lance Parkin, I co-write a history, the seminal timeline to Doctor Who. And we are moving, and if I can pull it together, we'll do a moving day sale, but I haven't. That requires organization and time and thought, and I haven't quite gotten there. So, yeah. Check out A History.
Okay. And last but not least,
Curtis, and I am the Epic Marvel podcast, although haven't had an episode in a long time. But I do a weekly live stream on Mondays, and you can join me on YouTube there. And I'm also part of Clover Press, and we just launched The Marvel Art of Mike Del Mundo, giant oversized coffee table art book. So check that out on Kickstarter.
Yeah. Curtis, I'd be willing to come back to the Epic podcast and embarrass myself sometime if you needed someone to do that.
Yeah, it's not for lack of want, that's for sure. I just don't have time.
Yeah.
I understand all that. And I am the Uncanny Omar. Thank you all so much for watching. go and check out these wonderful people's channels and their books. And thank you to Marvel again for sending us the Solicits. And the DC November Solicits will be up tomorrow. Dom is doing those. He does. I think those go up pretty early. But that is it, everybody. Have a wonderful day. And I'll see you tomorrow if you're joining me for the Mike Carey interview, and Saturday for the live stream at 11 a.m. We are out of here.